Hey, happy data people. So today, a little different format. I just wanted to talk about more of a topic, and it is going to be analytical teams versus enterprise teams. Maybe this is geared more to your business leaders or how to think about maybe setting up your organization and the differences between the two. This could also be for data, someone who's inspiring to be in data analytics as an analyst, and maybe what team that they want to go after. So personally, I've been on a vertical team, and what that means, or how I'm defining a vertical team, is analytical team within a business that supports specific departments. So it's not enterprise, it's not across the entire organization. You're supporting specific businesses uh, within the organization. And then the definition of enterprise is a team that supports your entire organization. So, what I wanted to talk about today is just maybe the pros and cons of both teams, and what I see, what they can focus on really well and what they can't focus on, or what are some of the maybe the harder or more challenges with both of them. Again, myself, I'm on a team that's more vertical, but we do collaborate very heavily with the enterprise team in our organization. We have a very strong partnership. I do have a unique, I feel like I bring unique experience to this because I was part of the team at its implementation. So I've been able to see kind of the whole life cycle of that vertical analytical team. And it's been kind of nice because at the beginning, we are very um, immature with our skill sets, and we've grown over the years and we've become very mature. And over the years, our partnership with that enterprise team has grown as well. So I'm going to first start with the pros to the vertical analytical team. And like I said, you're supporting the businesses, you're kind of tied into those businesses. So typically the relationships are very strong with that team. You have a partnership, you're probably walking hand in hand in what those businesses are looking for. And the businesses really get to drive the priority. Um, and that leads to maybe faster turnaround times. There's less red tape of what you necessarily have to work through. Now, if your businesses grow and that vertical team starts becoming more like an enterprise team, that can change. But typically, the businesses are really directing what that vertical team can work on. So a lot of focusing on specifically their priorities. So those are some of the big wins there. Some of the challenges with that vertical team, though, are you're not necessarily an enterprise IT team. So a lot of times, maybe your solutions aren't necessarily formal in structure, maybe more informal, where you're not doing the typical IT best practices. You're just kind of getting things done for that business. There's there's good and bad with that. Again, the speed, you can typically get things done quickly, but they don't necessarily follow a formal structure, and that can kind of lead to chaos a lot of times, or sometimes in that situation. A lot of times, those vertical teams don't necessarily have the deep analytical knowledge maybe those enterprise teams have, which can lead to maybe not as in-depth analysis and things like that. But over time, that can grow too on those vertical teams. I'm not saying that can't be there, but time and effort do have to be invested more and more in that. Um, the last thing I'll probably say about those a vertical analytical team is with the age of AI being here, it is easier to do technical solutions or data solutions. So, in my opinion, investing or having that a closer relationship to the business is very important. And those vertical teams are kind of already kind of ahead in that race where they've already invested in that relationship and have close ties to the businesses. So with AI, it's gonna make that even more valuable since the technical things are gonna be less valuable since it's gonna be easier to be able to do that. Okay, so I'm going to move to the enterprise scope of a business. Now, from an enterprise lens, your structure has to be sound. You're providing data for the entire organization. It has to be stable. It has to be correct the quality. It has to be there when you expect it to be there. So there's going to be a lot of formal structures, a lot of formal processes that need to be in place. Your checks and balances and a lot of auditing and things like that. That is great, and that is needed for an enterprise business or for the enterprise IT kind of side of things. But from a business standpoint, when they need help and they have to go to the enterprise IT, that can slow things down. The business doesn't always necessarily direct the priority of what the enterprise is working on. They can have other departments that have a higher priority. So uh, your project might be put on the back burner. It might be put on the back burner 2 months, 6 months, even a year, and that can be challenging because we know with things changing so quickly, after a year, what you're asking for might not even make sense. So you might not even get the value of your ask. So that's one of the challenges there, kind of the time frame of when things get done. Um, Another positive, I think, and this kind of does go back to the AI though. Enterprise IT, you do typically have people that are very specialized in what they're doing. Like you're either very specialized in a database, you're very specialized in some specific type of analysis, you're very specialized in an ETL type of approach or system admin, things like that. I think in the day of AI, learning is so easy, but it's so short, and you're no one's if you lean too hard on AI, no one's going to become specialized. So those specialized people are actually going to be needed even more and more because you'll need that in-depth knowledge. So the IT does actually have an upper hand in there. Um, so I just wanted to call attention to where they what they're doing right now does make sense and that they need to even push further with that with the age of AI. Um, with all of this said, though, I do think the combination or having both teams within a company uh, is the right approach, though. You need the vertical team to move fast for a business. They have those close relationships. They understand the enterprise data. They typically can a lot of times set up their own smaller databases for the business needs, and they can partner closely with the IT groups. And when you see that partnership, that works well. And what I meant was partner with like the enterprise IT groups. And then those enterprise IT groups, they're ensuring that your overall data sources and your tables and your databases are working smoothly. So once that's all clicking, both of those entities make sense within the business scope or the company's scope. Having both, you can move fast in one end, and then you can focus on your stable environment on the other end. So both of those kind of make sense. Again, my wheelhouse is the vertical. I love moving fast. I love being able to um, solve business problems that haven't been solved before, either with setting up new tools or reorganizing data so people can make those decisions. I love that. I love being able to do that fast. I love being able to create and come up with those solutions. But once that creation happens, it's good to have someone come in and refine it, stabilize it. So making sure that happens as well is important. So um, I hope this helps. It's a topic that I think people should think about within in the in the data world. So I hope this was helpful for you. Um, until next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye, everybody.